If you laugh, think, and cry, that's a heck of a day. I've been thinking a lot about this quote from the late, great basketball coach Jimmy Valvano. One, because it's March Madness season, and I've watched an incessant amount of my favorite sport lately. And two, because I've had a lot of full days recently, thanks to the incredibly rich, sci-fi narrative of Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. Its clever and witty writing had me chuckling many times. Its introspective moments had me questioning what it means to be human and grappling with my own mortality. And its touching moments of humanity amidst the otherwise harsh, isolating, and fragile ecosystem of deep space moved me to tears more than once. It's incredibly rare for a video game to be capable of making me laugh, think, and cry. It's even more rare for one to remain fun and engaging on top of all of that. But let me tell you, Citizen Sleeper 2 did all of those things and more. When I played the first Citizen Sleeper 3 years ago, it caught me by surprise. Despite lacking voice acting and animation, the way developer Gareth Damian Martin depicted characters and the space station they inhabited was so vivid that I truly felt like I knew the ins and outs of its setting. The writing was evocative in the same way a good fiction novel is, and the stories that focused on the day-to-day struggles to survive on the periphery of capitalism and the importance of personal connections engrossed me. The narrative was the star of the show, but I also enjoyed assigning my randomly rolled dice to the variety of actions across the station, providing a gameplay experience that was equal parts optimization puzzle and role-playing adventure. All of this returns in Citizen Sleeper 2. It still features minimalist gameplay and quite a bit of reading, but its story and world building is every bit as impressive and captivating as its predecessor. Once again, you play as a sleeper, a humanoid robot with an emulated brain, created to work off the debt of the human from whom its mind was created. While bearing many human characteristics, Sleeper is ultimately a tool designed to work in the harshest environments over a limited lifespan, a means to an end, highlighting the capitalist principles that have underpinned colonizing space. However, this is a different Sleeper than the one you play as in the first game. In fact, apart from a few minor characters returning, this story stands alone and does not require having played Citizen Sleeper to enjoy it. After an inciting amnesia event, something I'm not normally a fan of, but properly justifies itself as part of a failed system reboot, you're whisked away on an epic space adventure as you attempt to both remember and escape your past while creating a new life for yourself amongst the settlements of the Starward Vector. At the onset of Citizen Sleeper 2, gameplay is quite similar as well. Sticking to its tabletop inspirations, each day begins by rolling 5 dice. These dice can be spent on actions at different locations throughout the space station, with success dependent on the value rolled and a handful of RPG-esque attributes. Through these actions, you'll explore to reveal new locations, work to acquire money to spend on food and other resources, and advance the story, whether it is the current main objective or one of several engaging side quests. All while listening to an amazing soundtrack composed by Amos Roddy that perfectly sets the mood for a vibey space adventure. What has changed dramatically is the structure of the story. Citizen Sleeper focused solely on the player character and their interactions with the inhabitants of a single station, Erlin's Eye, which functioned as one giant city. This time, you have a spaceship and crew to manage, with the ability to explore several unique locations scattered across the Starward Vector, including a small station brimming with refugees, a tiny mining outpost, a water harvesting facility, and many more. These smaller locations limit your options, which makes it easier to manage your day-to-day decisions, but also creates a more linear experience that restricts some of the role-playing I appreciated from the first game. That being said, I enjoyed fulfilling the fantasy of owning my own spaceship and exploring the galaxy, something lacking from the original Citizen Sleeper. As you assemble your crew, you'll take on a variety of contracts. These are small, focused missions that have more rigid success and failure conditions, and often serve as the climax of a particular storyline. Gameplay is similar, you still roll 5 dice to spend on actions, but you also bring 2 crew members with you, providing an additional 2 dice each. Options are few, and there's usually a tight time limit, requiring a careful balance of risk and reward, especially when deciding how to use poor rolls. These missions are stressful, and there's an in-game mechanic to represent that. Failed actions accrue stress that can cause crewmates to become unavailable or even damage your dice to the point of breaking. While that may sound daunting, I really enjoyed playing these contracts. They added a level of gaminess that was largely missing from the first Citizen Sleeper. Whereas the original felt a bit more slice of life, with your dependency on stabilizer and a few time limits providing a consistent but limited tension, these missions create extremely nervy and impactful moments that can hinge on a single roll of the dice. Not only did this elevate the importance of each decision, this nervous buildup made the resulting story beats that much more affecting. What I found particularly brilliant about these contracts is that they are intentionally challenging and occasionally unfair, but failure doesn't result in restarting the mission or a game over screen. Rather, it simply takes the story in a different direction. That's not to say there aren't consequences. I still felt disappointed when I fell short of my objective, but the writing was so strong that failure still felt narratively satisfying. Sure, my personal tale didn't always go the way I expected, but the show must go on. That's life. And there's something deeply refreshing about a game that treats failure so thoughtfully. Citizen Sleeper 2 also emphasizes the importance of making personal connections. There are many points along Sleeper's adventure where there's the opportunity to recruit a new crew member. They not only provide more options on contracts, where crew members can be used to fill in the gaps of Sleeper's skills, they also serve as the catalyst for some of the most interesting stories Citizen Sleeper 2 has to offer. I felt a real sense of camaraderie with these characters, especially as they began to reveal their personal ambitions and invite you to help complete their objectives. Many of my favorite moments of Citizen Sleeper 2 occurred during these side quests, which delve into what motivates the people that are inhabiting this scattered and isolated belt in the galaxy. Some of these motivations are grand, like seeking out a special ship core that could be used for interstellar travel. Others are as simple as unearthing remnants of old technology that powered the Starward Vector to satisfy a personal curiosity. Each side quest beautifully fleshed out my comrades' backstories, while shedding additional light on the origins, politics, and dynamics of the world I had been exploring. Through completing these objectives, I found myself feeling connected to each of my crew members more than I expected to, and I derived a deep sense of satisfaction whenever seeing one of their storylines through to the end. This theme of connection, of relying on others for support in times of need, is at the very core of Citizen Sleeper 2. Many of these stories tackle challenging subjects like greed, poverty, classism, humanity, and mortality. Most of them portray individuals just trying to survive and make a life for themselves, but they always circle back to the importance of human connections and what we can accomplish together. This message never feels contrived or overly sentimental. Instead, it strikes a genuine chord that really riled up my emotions a few times. These moving moments are why I adore Citizen Sleeper 2's narrative so much. This version of space is painted as such a harsh and unforgiving place, yet each story's conclusion left me feeling content and satisfied. Citizen Sleeper 2 won't be for everyone. Its minimalistic gameplay and sheer amount of reading may be off-putting for some. But those that stick with it will be rewarded with one of the best sci-fi stories out there, video games or not. And fans of the first Citizen Sleeper can rest assured that this game delivers on everything: the tabletop-inspired gameplay, fantastic soundtrack, brilliant world building, and of course, best-in-class writing that made the original so memorable. To adapt the quote I started this with, if a game can make you laugh, think, and cry, that's a heck of a game. Citizen Sleeper 2 is certainly a heck of a game. Thank you for watching. I'm a partnered creator with Minimap, who is kind enough to provide me with the code for this review. Minimap is the ultimate gaming app. It allows you to track all of your games and achievements in one place thanks to its Game Sync feature that works with PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and Steam. You can also share updates and reviews with a small but passionate and growing community. I'm a data nerd, so I love everything Minimap allows me to track, like what systems I own a game on and total hours played. and I've discovered so many great games through reading community posts and reviews. This isn't a paid advertisement, I just really like the Minimap app and community and want to see it grow. So if you are interested, check out the link in the description, and to see more of my game reviews, please subscribe. Okay, thank you, bye!